Chicky, huh?
Just so you know, I hate these shots. Being forced to do this against my will.
Between them, more than 30 years of special effects experience.
Nobody's going to be inside the room when we do this. Although it's perfectly safe, it looks better on TV.
Hey, good task.
And here's Katie and Adam.
Crowds in our hometown.
Yeah, y'all know we work around here, right?
So guys, since we brought up the fact that you work around here, one of the things that we in the Bay Area really enjoy when we're watching your show is recognizing the backdrop. How do you convince people to let you use the places? Do you hold the deed to Alameda now?
We had a lot harder time when we first started. You know, people were like, yeah, right, we're going to let you come blow something up on our property, but...
No, but now we have locations. We know that one location we can blow something up, but we can't set something on fire. And then there's another location where we can set something on fire, but we absolutely can't get a bang. Then there's another place where we can get a bang, but it can't be a fire bang, it has to be a percussive bang. It's all about the permits.
What's your criteria for what makes a good meth? Is it the number of explosions that it involves?
Well, you know, at one point, Discovery actually mandated that we had to have an explosion per episode because they kind of got that that was a popular thing after the cement truck, I think. But, you know, it actually, it's a little simpler than that. We look for several things, and the first and most primary thing is that we like to see at least a grain of truth in something. I mean, there are a couple of bits.
Pyramid power notwithstanding, we apologize for that one.
Yeah, the Oogie Boogie. We don't do Supernatural, we don't do Oogie Boogie, we don't do Aliens.
We're not going to go look for the Loch Ness Monster, although we're not necessarily above making our own crop circle.
Yeah, you know, there's some filters like that, and but the grain of truth is a good place to start because that's where urban legends occur. You know, that somebody says something, then it kind of, as it moves along through talking about it, it changes, and then things become bizarre, and that's where we swing into action. So otherwise, we look for things that are, you know, that we find personally interesting. I mean, it's production, and their wisdom has learned that, you know, if we're interested in something, if we have fun with something, it makes for good TV. So that's a great job to have on.
Well, and also, we've been doing it long enough that now the show is created kind of its own lens with which to look at something. So in the beginning, we have a Darwin Award of a guy with a barrel of bricks, and that's pretty straightforward to move through trying to replicate something like that. But last January, I was in Las Vegas giving a talk at James Randi's amazing meeting, and audience member raised their hand and said, "What about shooting fish in a barrel?" And I was like, "You're absolutely right, that's great!" And I went back to the hotel room and I started thinking, how would we do shooting fish in a barrel? Well, obviously, you know, make some fake fish, some ballistics gel, we start firing into there. And then once I started to think about exactly how the set of experiments goes, I realized, wait a minute, I'm not taking into account that there's a pressure wave being created by the bullet entering the water, and so we're going to have to measure that, and then it's time to call up data about pressure waves and how they affect fish and all of that.